Mr. President, thank you again for being back with us on Telemundo.
Thank you, Jose. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, Latinos are on the front line in many ways. They're tending our fields, transporting our goods. They're on the front line in the hospitals.
Right.
And as many as 30,000 hospital workers are DACA recipients, and yet you seem to be laser focused on deporting DACA.
Yeah.
Why?
I'm not at all. I'm taking care of DACA. I had a deal with the Democrats and they broke the deal. The DACA could have been taken care of 2 years ago, but the Democrats broke the deal. All of a sudden they just broke it for no reason. Actually, they had a court case that slightly went their way and they said, oh, let's not talk about the deal anymore. You remember that. We talked about it. Mm-hmm. The deal was done. DACA is going to be just fine. We're putting it in, but it's going to be just fine. And I'm going to be, over the next few weeks, signing an immigration bill that a lot of people don't know about it. You have breaking news, but I'm signing a big immigration bill.
Is this an executive order?
I'm going to do a big executive order. I have the power to do it as president, and I'm going to make DACA a part of it. But we put it in, and we're probably going to then be taking it out. We're working out the legal complexities right now, but I'm going to be signing a very major immigration bill as an executive order, which Supreme Court now, because of the DACA decision, has given me the power to do that.
Just so I could understand better, so you're planning to include a provision for DACA under an executive order to give the 750,000 people a legalization, at least temporary?
Well, what I'm going to do is they're going to be part of a much bigger bill on immigration. It's going to be a very big bill, a very good bill, a merit-based bill, and it will include DACA. And I think people are going to be very happy. In the meantime, we'll put it in, we'll take it out. I think people are going to be very happy with it. But one of the aspects of the bill, which frankly nobody knows about until right now because I told no other reporter, so you have breaking news, congratulations. But one of the aspects of the bill is going to be DACA. We're going to have a road to citizenship.
Okay, so that's as an executive order, not as a congressional bill.
If you look at the Supreme Court ruling, they gave the president tremendous powers when they said that you could take in this case, 700,000 or so people.
Right.
So they gave powers. Based on the powers that they gave, I'm going to be doing an immigration bill. One of the aspects of the bill that you'll be very happy with and that a lot of people will be, including me, and a lot of Republicans, by the way, will be DACA. We'll give them a road to citizenship.
When is this going to be
I would
done?
say over the next 4 weeks.
We're all being asked to wear masks.
Yeah.
Is it difficult for you to put on a mask?
No, it's not difficult at all. In fact, I'll be going to Walter Reed, I believe, tomorrow, and I think when you're in a hospital, you should definitely wear a mask. It wouldn't be difficult at all for me.
You've worn them and you'll
Yeah,
start
I've
wearing
worn
more
them.
of
I've had them
them?
on.
Will we see you wear
I
them?
think you guys, yeah, if you'd like to.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, I think hopefully I'll look good in a mask, but I've had masks on, and I think you have pictures of me with masks. No, I think in certain settings like a hospital, I'm going in to see some of our troops. I'm going in to see some of our COVID workers, people that have done an incredible job. I'm going tomorrow night sometime, and I'll be wearing a mask.
The numbers of new people infected are going through the roof. Hospitalizations, more than 435 new hospitalizations in Florida. The deaths have been on the increase. Los Angeles had a 100% increase in the number of deaths over last week. You have called yourself a wartime president. Is the United States losing the war against COVID?
No, we're winning the war, and we have areas that flamed up, and they're going to be fine over a period of time. But unfortunately, we had this plague sent in from China, and it's a disgrace that they didn't stop it in China. They should have stopped it. I put the ban up. If we didn't put the ban, it would have been much worse. If we didn't do a closure, we would have had millions of deaths instead of where we are right now. But it's far too many. One is far too many. But our testing is far superior to anybody's. So we've now tested almost 45 million people, and that's helping greatly. But it flared up in areas where they thought it was ending, and that would be Florida, Texas, a couple of other places. And they're going to have it under control very quickly.
You talk about China. Is China an enemy of the United States?
Well, I wouldn't say they're a great friend right now, because I really believe they could have stopped this. Was it done on purpose? I don't want to answer that question, but was it?
Do you think it was?
Could it have? Probably not. It was probably incompetence or a mistake. A mistake was made. It got out. It affected one person, 2 people, and then 10 people, and all of a sudden it was all over Wuhan. But they stopped it largely. They stopped it from leaving Wuhan, except when it came to the rest of the world. So you have 188 countries right now that are going through hell because of this, and it was a tragic mistake, let's say, or maybe it wasn't a mistake, but whatever it was, it caused a lot of damage, and it was caused by China.
Latinos are being disproportionately hit by COVID. It's really staggering how disproportionately Latinos are being affected by COVID. Why do you think that is?
It could be a lot of things. If you look at COVID, the ones that really are affected are people that have diabetes, if they have bad heart, if they have obesity, if they suffer from any malady, they are really, they're in trouble if they get hit, especially if they're a certain age. Latinos are being hit hard. I mean, honestly, everybody's being hit hard. A lot of people are being hit very hard. Everybody is being hit hard. It's a terrible thing all over the world.
Mr. President, Vanessa Guillén, Army soldier, immigrant. Have you heard of her?
I have, yes, I have.
She was killed.
That's right.
She was in an Army base in Texas.
Yeah.
Is there something that you could do to have more transparency in the way the armed forces investigate sexual harassment and sexual abuse?
Well, we're going to look at that I saw that on the news the other day, and I thought it was terrible, and I gave specifically orders. I want to know everything about it. They're going to be reporting to me on Monday about it, and I'll be able to release something to you at that time. I thought it was horrible. I thought it was absolutely horrible.
This week you had the visit to the White House of Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador. Strange bedfellows.
Isn't it really? But he's a fabulous man. He's like a friend of mine. He became a friend almost from the beginning. Less of a good relationship with his predecessor. I didn't get along, although in theory we should have gotten along better. But the president and I had a tremendous day yesterday, 2 days ago, and we are doing a lot of good things for our country, that mutually good things for our country.
Just last year on Mexico, you said, and I can quote you on this, people have been saying for years that we should talk to Mexico. The problem is that Mexico is an abuser of the United States, taking but never giving. Either they stop the invasion of our country by drug dealers, cartels, etc., or we'll have taxation and tariffs. Have you changed in this year?
Well, it's true. What I said is true. I'm not changing that, but we've made a lot of progress. We've signed a new USMCA. That's the deal with Mexico, Canada, United States. We got rid of the horrible NAFTA deal, which was a disaster for the United States. We now have Mexico supplying 27,000 soldiers on our border. We have very few people coming in. We've built a wall up to 250 miles. It's now continuing. We're building approximately 7 miles a week, and we'll have almost 500 miles very shortly. And the wall has had a huge impact on the border. So the border is a much different place. Very few people are getting through. We've changed rules, regulations, and even laws on the border. And you'll be seeing in the immigration bill that I just talked about some very interesting things happen.
Speaking of the Supreme Court ruled a New York prosecutor can obtain your financial records, including both of the magistrates that you appointed. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I was more or less happy with the decision, because when you read the decision, they're going to have to go through a lot. It can't be a witch hunt, which it is. It's a political witch hunt. And I've been going through it for approximately 4 years, longer than I've been president. It started before. We caught President Obama. We caught Vice President Biden spying on my campaign. We caught Comey lying. We caught Brennan and Clapper lying. We caught a lot of things are happening. And a lot of action is going on with
when
respect
they spy.
to that.
When someone spies, that has repercussions. You're saying that the president and the vice president spy on you?
Of course, President Obama knew. Vice President Biden knew. They were spying on my campaign. Everybody knows. When I had mentioned this as a distinct possibility years ago, everybody laughed and smiled, and they thought it was funny. Now, there's no doubt about it, and that's a very serious charge. The president, the vice president totally knew they were spying on my campaign. Comey lied, you know that.
What do you base on
Clapper
that they
lied,
both
Brennan
knew
lied.
and that were spying on your campaign?
Well, no, it's a very serious thing when you're not allowed to do that. They're spying, using intelligence to spy on the opposing party's campaign. A thing like this has never happened before, but that's a very, very serious thing. And they got caught. They got caught. Now let's see what happens, but they got caught. But that's a big deal. And and we've been going through this for a long time. So let's see how it all works out. It'll be very interesting.
Mr. President, you're here to talk about the region. I know that Venezuela has been on the plate here. For you, Venezuela, is it Guaidó? Is it Maduro? Is it U.S. intervention?
It's freedom for their people. It's freedom. Venezuela was a rich country 15 years ago, and it's been destroyed by two people, but a system, a horrible system. Call it anything you want, but it's a horrible system. And something will happen with Venezuela. That's all I can tell you. Something will be happening with Venezuela.
Through the United States? The United States?
We'll be very much involved.
Are you still supporting Guaido?
I support whoever it is that's elected. And right now, he seems to be the person that's elected. But the system is very bad over there. He seems to be losing a certain power. We want somebody that has the support of the people. I support the person that has the support of the people. Venezuela has been treated very, very badly. I've been very strong on Venezuela. This is an area that I know very well. You understand why. I know this area very well. Little Venezuela, they call it in Florida. Little Venezuela. The greatest people there are, fantastic people. We're going to take care of the people of Venezuela.
Mr. President, thank you very much
Thank
for
you
your
very
time. I
much.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.